For decades, Linda Kozlowski remained largely silent about one of the most public chapters of her life, her marriage to Paul Hogan and the divorce that quietly ended it. While fans speculated and tabloids filled gaps with assumptions, Linda chose privacy over performance. Now, years removed from Hollywood and grounded in a very different life, she has finally spoken. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. Her reflections reveal a story far more layered than headlines ever suggested. This is not a tale of scandal, but of self-rediscovery, emotional honesty, and the courage it takes to walk away from a life that no longer fits. Linda's words don't seek sympathy or validation. Instead, they offer perspective on love, identity, and the quiet strength required to choose oneself after years of living inside someone else's narrative. Early life and artistic foundations. Linda Kozlowski was born on January 7, 1958, in Fairfield, Connecticut, into a close-knit Polish-American family that emphasized education, discipline, and cultural pride. From an early age, she displayed a natural affinity for the performing arts, finding joy and confidence in school plays, music, and community theater. Her family encouraged her creative instincts, believing that self-expression was as important as structure. This balance shaped Linda into a thoughtful and grounded young woman with a strong sense of self. After completing her early education, she set her sights on New York City, where she enrolled at the prestigious Juilliard School. There, she underwent rigorous classical training, refining her craft through stage work and intensive study. Those years laid the foundation for an acting style rooted in realism, emotional honesty, and restraint. The role that changed everything. Linda Kozlowski's life changed dramatically in 1986 when she was cast as journalist Sue Charlton in Crocodile Dundee. What began as a modest film quickly became a global phenomenon, resonating with audiences through its humor, heart, and cultural contrast. Linda's performance stood out for its intelligence, warmth, and grounded confidence. She wasn't just a romantic counterpart, she was a fully realized character who held her own alongside Paul Hogan's Mick Dundee. Their on-screen chemistry felt effortless, sparking widespread praise and earning Linda a Golden Globe nomination. Overnight, she became an international star. Yet beneath the success, Linda remained deeply connected to her craft, aware that fame was fleeting. While the film opened doors, it also quietly set expectations that would shape and eventually complicate the trajectory of her career. Love beyond the camera. What audiences sensed on screen soon became real off-camera. Linda and Paul Hogan's connection grew naturally during filming, evolving into a genuine romance. As they reunited for Crocodile Dundee 2, their relationship deepened and the public embraced them as a real-life extension of the characters they loved. In 1990, the couple married, capturing global attention. Their union felt like a Hollywood fairy tale, successful, charming, and seemingly effortless. Yet behind the scenes, both were navigating complicated transitions. Hogan's personal life had recently undergone major changes, and Linda was adjusting to life in a relationship constantly observed and analyzed. While love was real, so were the pressures. Still, they committed to building a life together, believing their bond could withstand both fame and expectation. Career choices and growing discontent. Throughout the 1990s, Linda continued acting, taking on diverse roles that showcased her range, from comedies to thrillers and science fiction. Films like Almost an Angel, Backstreet Justice, The Neighbor, and Village of the Damned allowed her to explore different genres, though none matched the cultural impact of Crocodile Dundee. Over time, Linda became increasingly dissatisfied with the scripts being offered to her. She later described feeling isolated on sets where artistic care seemed absent. The work no longer aligned with her standards or values. At the same time, her priorities were shifting. She began questioning what fulfillment truly meant and whether remaining in Hollywood served her emotional and creative well-being. Eventually, she made a rare choice, stepping away from the industry on her own terms. Marriage, motherhood, and distance. Linda and Paul Hogan welcomed their son, Chance, in 1998, a moment that redefined both of their lives. Motherhood became central to Linda's identity, grounding her in ways Hollywood never had. The family attempted to build a quieter life in Australia, hoping distance from Los Angeles would bring balance. However, cultural differences and limited opportunities created new challenges. Eventually, they returned to California, but something had shifted. Over the years, their paths slowly diverged. Different priorities, evolving identities, and emotional distance took hold. Despite mutual respect, the relationship no longer provided the support either needed. What once felt effortless now required constant negotiation. Linda later reflected that she began to feel disconnected from herself, a realization that would ultimately guide one of the hardest decisions of her life: the divorce and public misunderstanding. In 2013, after 23 years of marriage, Linda filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The separation was amicable, yet public reaction was swift and speculative. Headlines framed the moment as scandal, overlooking the years of introspection behind it. Linda has since clarified that the decision wasn't sudden or driven by conflict. It was the result of long reflection and emotional honesty. She spoke openly about losing parts of herself over time: her voice, her goals, her sense of autonomy. Leaving wasn't about rejection, it was about survival. The divorce marked a turning point, not just legally, but personally. It forced Linda to confront who she was beyond roles, relationships, and expectations imposed by fame. Reclaiming identity after Hollywood. Following the divorce, Linda stepped fully away from public life, choosing reflection over reinvention, at least at first. She traveled extensively, reconnecting with herself outside familiar labels. Over time, those travels led her to Morocco, where she discovered a new sense of belonging. There, she met Mule Hafi Baba, a local guide and entrepreneur whose worldview aligned with her own evolving values. Their partnership was rooted in curiosity, respect, and shared purpose. Together, they co-founded Dream My Destiny, a luxury travel company offering curated cultural experiences. For Linda, this wasn't a departure from storytelling, it was a new form of it. Instead of scripts and cameras, she now crafted journeys that connected people to history, beauty, and authenticity. A life rebuilt with intention. Today, Linda Kozlowski's life reflects balance and intention. Her days in Marrakesh are filled with simple rituals: morning jogs through olive groves, shared meals, conversations with clients, and evenings spent immersed in community. She speaks proudly of her greatest achievement: raising her son. Hollywood, she says, taught her resilience, but life beyond it taught her peace. In breaking her silence, Linda doesn't dwell on regret. Instead, she emphasizes growth. Walking away from fame, marriage, and expectation required courage, but it led her somewhere honest. Her story isn't about loss, it's about alignment. Linda Kozlowski didn't disappear. She simply chose a life that finally felt like her own.